don't think so.
Hey, everybody.
Oh,
On the right space.
hello.
Sorry. Whiplash. Hey, everybody, and welcome once again to Nerdy Girls After Dark. I'm Sarah Lydia. I'm here with the other girls. We are the one-stop pod where women can get their fandom content, relationship advice, fashion tips, belly laughs, and answers to dangerous questions all in one place. Typically, the tone of the show is pretty lighthearted, but after the sobering events of the last couple of weeks, we wanted to start tonight's show just a little bit differently. So before we get into the meat of the episode, we want to take a moment to reflect and remember. Reflect on where we were 2 years ago when we heard the news about father, brother, and son George Floyd. We want to take a moment and reflect on where we were 6 years ago, just 2 weeks before a gunman walked into the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. Where we were 2 weeks ago when news broke about the tragic loss of life in a Black community in Buffalo, New York. Or 2 days ago when yet another teenager entered another school with another gun in his hands.
It's easy to lose focus and think that we've come so far as a nation. And in some ways we have, but as made clear recently, we have not come far enough. These horrific and senseless events over the last few weeks, including the shooting in Southern California, remind us how far we have to go. That we must stay vigilant and united against hate, bigotry, and racism, and that we must continue to fight for mental health care in this country and health care, period, and continue to raise our voices to our senators and representatives.
We must continue to call, write, and make our voices heard at the ballot box, not just in the major elections, but in the ones that matter most, the ones that are closest to home. Those are the local, state, and primary elections. That's how you decide who represents you and who should represent you. Because the ones taking up space in Congress right now are representing no one but themselves, and it has become painfully obvious.
We at Nerdy Girls After Dark are here to learn, to grow, and to fight alongside you. We pledge to do this, not to debate, not to argue or condescend, and we encourage everyone to join us and keep up and not give up this fight. To keep listening, to keep learning, to keep loving each other, and to keep raising hell, because, that's what some nerdy girls do. And it matters now more than ever. So in the spirit of learning and growing and loving each other, lifting each other up, for everybody who's live here tonight, please keep this mindset front and center. So we interact with each other in the comments, and as we interact with us as well. It has been a very, very crushing couple of weeks. And so we are very cognizant that it's been heavy for all of us, us included. We took some time last week to kind of take a little bit of a breather and participate in some self-care. And we're back this week to kind of participate in our community, to love each other, to encourage each other, and to hopefully have a little bit of fun. So we would like to start by talking about who we are. What does Nerdy Girls mean? What does that look like? Sarah, tell us a little bit about it.
What does it look like? We were all talking recently and thought it would make a great topic for one of our episodes. We were talking about what it would look like if we tried to make the show a little bit nerdier, but then we were just kind of like, wait a second, what is that? What does that mean? What does that look like? Because it looks different for every person. So we're going to do a roundtable about top 3? Is that what we said? Top 3 things that make us nerds?
Yeah.
Something like that? Okay, cool. Yeah. Who wants to start?
Well, I think we can start with one that we all have in common.
Okay. I'm down with that.
We
How we all
all
met.
yeah, how we all met. We are all Marvel nerds. We love Marvel. We nerd out. This is probably like my first, like personally speaking, my first true nerd. Yeah, exactly. We all have Funko Pops. We have T-shirts. We have like saved movie ticket stubs. I know we all do. It's like for me personally, it was my first like actual like quote unquote nerd thing that I liked, because everything else that I nerd out about is not your typical like fandom. It's not your like comics, anything like that. So for me,
Yeah.
Marvel was the first nerd-ish thing. What about you guys?
For me, for fandom wise, my first nerd was Harry Potter. First with the books and then the movies. I mean, books came out in the 90s, so I grew up with those books, grew up with those movies, and then discovered Marvel. I mean, just a few years ago, but I still discovered it and became an even more bigger nerd in that way. Added another fandom to me, so I'm excited and love it.
What about you, Maya?
I mean, it's hard to say which one came first, but I would think my first thing that I nerded out over was primates. I know it's very different, different kind of nerdom. But when I was a kid, I went to the zoo for the first time, and I couldn't take my eyes off of just like seeing the gorillas, seeing the chimpanzees, the gibbons. And so I would literally not go to recess. I would be in our library, and I made a whole book like this big, and I documented every single type of great ape, lesser ape, New World monkey, Old World monkey. I had a whole like encyclopedia. And I was just so fascinated. So that's why, like, I don't know, that's the first thing that I can think of. It was like kindergarten that I got really into it.
Why didn't you like pursue that? Like, why aren't you doing like a master's degree specifically with primates and like learning all about that? Like, why are you not a prof teaching somewhere about primates?
I really hope my mom is not listening to this, because she cringes every time I tell this story. So I was obsessed with Jane Goodall, and my mom she thought I was a little obsessive, to the point where she told me Jane Goodall died before I actually thought about.
Yeah.
And I think she may have thought, she probably could have read a fake news article at this point, whatever. I don't know. But I remember she told me that I was so crushed. And I used to think like studying animals was really dangerous. So, because I think the story was she died of some mysterious disease. Yeah, a lot of layers to pull back there. But I always was interested, but I never really thought of, because I'm scared of a lot of animals. But I mean, that's a good question, Cara. Maybe I need to reevaluate my life.
Well,
Hey, it's never too late.
Yeah.
Aren't apes just monkeys?
No.
What's the difference?
So apes and monkeys are different. Apes, there's great apes. So those are gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, and humans. And then there's lesser apes, and bonobos are great apes. And then lesser apes are gibbons. So the difference between apes and monkeys are that apes don't have a tail. And there's more things, but I think that's the easiest one to kind of like understand, that apes don't have a tail. And then there's monkeys, and then there's old world monkeys that don't have a usable tail. So like baboons that are just kind of like standing there. And then New World monkeys have a usable tail. So it's like a capuchin that wraps around a branch and things like that. Another thing is apes have what's called like brachiation, like the idea of you like grabbing trees, kind of like that, I don't know, like monkey bar, that type of action. That's just specific to apes. So a lot of people think that's monkeys, but really like they're crawling on branches. They don't really have that full like swing motion with their arms. So those are just two defined.
See, for me, it's that you said that when you were a kid, you were a nerd about primates, but this love has continued.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Through your 20s. Like, that does not happen very often. I don't know about any of you guys, but I don't think that there is something that I love so much as a kid, like an outside like not a relationship or a family or anything like that. I don't think there is anything that I love so much as a kid that I still love to this day.
I feel like all my personality traits and the things that I like were kid, and I just never expanded from it because all my stuff started as a kid. And Jaylynn probably could relate to some of that, like her love for another animal that would be probably named later in the episode. But yeah, it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot about apes and monkeys. I didn't think I was going to get that. I love that.
People call like a chimpanzee, they're like a monkey. I'm like, no.
Can we get like a little like, what's Jaylynn's animal of choice?
Yes.
Is it dogs?
Is it what?
Is it dogs?
No.
I mean, I love dogs. I mean, I love all animals, but I mean, my animal is penguins.
Oh, penguins! Oh, of course, of course.
Like, I want to live among the penguins. Like, that is my goal in life, to like go see penguins in the wild. I don't care if it's negative 100 degrees outside. I will make it work. I want to go so bad. But I mean, there are penguins in Africa, so I guess, you know, that's a little warmer. So maybe I'll go there first, and then.
You adopted a penguin?
What? We adopted for a penguin.
Yeah, it was a gift. It was adopted in my name.
Was I there? Oh God, I was there.
Yes, you were.
Yes.
Listen,
there's a lot going on.
Guys, we are great at giving gifts. Please go back to our previous episode on love languages, where we talk about how much we love to give gifts and receive words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Please do with that what you will.
Yeah. I mean, that whole, because someone else thought they were getting a gift or giving a gift, but then I thought I was giving a gift, and then
double cross.
Yeah. There's a lot happening. It's okay.
Brian says dinosaurs. He says it comes out every few years when a new Jurassic Park movie comes out.
Which he should watch the new show on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. That looks really good, actually.
It is. Fantastic. I watched the first few episodes. It is really good.
Do you know what it's called, so we can give it a proper plug?
I think
you would think I would be prepared.
What's it called? Prehistoric what?
Planet.
I think it's yeah. It's with David Attenborough. Yeah. So he does all like the animal documentaries.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the voice. I probably just know his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you would know his voice.
Like this.
It's
kind of like
the great expanse of the ocean, stuff like that.
Dumbledore, kind of.
Yeah.
Sarah, what else is your? So we have penguins, we have primates, Harry Potter, Marvel. What else do you have?
I grew up loving music and loving not just music, but like the performing, like Sarah Brightman. My mom always had Sarah Brightman playing and the Carpenters playing. And so in high school, I naturally progressed into theater and musical theater, but theater is what I ended up studying in college, and I got a degree in that. But I focused a lot on music and musical performance, and then I also got to do some Shakespeare, which also feeds that literary nerd part of me. So it was a kind of like a whole package deal, and I had a blast, and I still love it to this day.
Oh my gosh.
Jaylynn and I have talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Range queen. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of like literature, I know Jaylynn has something to say about that.
Right? I know. I was gonna say, yeah. One of the biggest nerdy things about me is I love to read. I love buying books. I love just sitting outside or on the couch or wherever, just with a book in my hand, maybe a cocktail next to me, you know. And I just, reading is one of those things. It lets me escape what's happening in the real world. It's whatever type of book I'm reading, I get to live in that world in that moment. And it's just peaceful. It relaxes me. I can read all day if I could. Like if I never had to work or take care of a house or dogs or a husband or whatever, I would just read all day long.
Do you like the smell of the pages?
Yes,
I do too.
I do.
An audiobook isn't considered a book if you were wondering.
No.
Jaylynn,
It does. It surely does. Yes, it does.
It's a book, but you can't say you read it.
read it.
You listened to
Yeah,
it.
but
You can't say I read a book. You say I listened to
I
an
listened
audiobook.
to an
That sounds
audiobook.
so dumb.
Well,
I
you're
mean,
too
it's called
busy.
audio.
Yeah.
Listened to a book.
Yeah.
Jaylynn, as somebody who clearly does not like to read, is reading something like TV shows or a movie where you have like a favorite one and then you just keep going back and you keep reading that favorite book and it's wonderful? Or is it something where you have to keep reading something new?
I would say for me, it's a mixture. I have my favorite series. So at the end of every year, I always read Harry Potter. It's just my tradition over basically December, maybe December, January. I always reread Harry Potter. It's just
All the books?
all the books. Yeah.
Nice.
It's just kind of a cleanse of the year of everything new that I've read. But there's times I'll get in like a rut and I'm like, I don't know what to read. So I'll just pick up another favorite series or another favorite book and see if that will inspire another genre. I'll take like quizzes or something and be like, I like to read these types of books. What do you recommend? And I found some good things from there. Nice. I get ads on Facebook all the time for books. Book of the month, I think is what it's called. They keep advertising and I never sign up because I don't want to pay the monthly fee for it. Yep. But it will keep like giving suggestions of books. And so I'll like look them up and be like, well, I'll just go to the library and get it for free instead of paying the monthly fee. So I'd say I'm a mixture of new material and rereading. But I have a lot of books on my bookshelf that I haven't read. But that's like a thing book lovers do, is they just keep buying books
adding
and
stuff
not
to your
reading
list on Netflix. I'm definitely going to watch this, and then you never do.
Yeah.
I really liked that you read the same books every year at the same time, which is actually just lit a light bulb for me that I love tradition. Like I do actually nerd out quite a bit over tradition, routine. Like I'm one of those people that like I like to do the same thing. I walk the same way every day. I watch the same shows, Parks and Recreation. It's on, in Canada, it's on Netflix and Amazon. I do the same thing every day. I love doing the same thing for holidays, for having like that respected tradition. And I do like get upset if it doesn't happen. And I do get very, very excited about really weird things. So I'm going to actually add that like tradition and routine to one of my nerdy things.
I love that. I mean, tradition's important.
Yeah, it is. I do a read of Lord of the Rings during the summer because during the winter I watch the movies. It's a Christmas thing with my family.
Yeah. That's one series. Sorry, I was just gonna say that's one series I can't get into. The books. I love the movies. Okay. The books are just so hard to read.
They're lengthy.
Yeah,
and they're full of songs.
When he's spending like 20 pages describing Gandalf's beard, I'm like, okay, let's get going.
A beard.
Or the long leaf and the beard. Well, I can get into talking about the long leaf and the beard.
20 pages on someone's listen.
Okay, that may be an exaggeration, but it's around there. It's a lot.
Man,
give or take.
I am in school. I have to read like 20 pages of an article, of a textbook for like this and that. If I had to come home on my time off, read 20 pages about somebody's beard, I'd be so upset.
Oh my gosh, Brian.
Iron Man 3 as a Christmas movie? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. Very nice, Brian.
So Jaylynn, something that you said that really like sparked it, like reading books as a form of escape.
Hey, Justin.
That brings me to one of mine. And even though It's a game. It's Sims.
Oh,
I
love
am
Sims.
like
Sims, that's so
8 years
true.
old. I literally have a Sim of all of you. I mean, I think I should. I've been playing Sims since I was like in the 5th grade. I had all the expansion packs, and I still play.
Oh, dang.
It's just like a way where, other than like watching movies and TV shows, if I actually want to be more immersive, like feeling like I just have like control of my own little space that I created.
Yep.
So I know everyone has like that role playing game that they like and they enjoy, but Sims is like consistent thing that has like carried me through. Like, late at night I'll just be playing Sims. So
Okay, this
It's
is
such a great
2 for
game.
2 that Maya has been consistent and like she likes what she likes. That I'm so impressed.
I'm like, yeah, I guess like whole personality form when I was in like the 5th grade. It was so bad. I used to watch Sims music videos. After this podcast, y'all should watch. Someone would literally make music videos, and it would be like screen recording of them playing Sims. So they did like one of them was like the Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne, and they literally made like the Sims. It was beautiful.
I'm gonna have to look those up. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah. So,
Hey, Justin. Justin's with
hey,
us.
Justin.
How's it
Hello.
going?
Sarah, what about you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cara.
I was gonna say one of my things that you probably picked up on when I was so excited about the potential of Maya going back to school is education. I love education, which is a huge turn. Unlike Maya, my personality did not form when I was in grade 5. I did not care about school, about education at all until I was about 24. And since then, I have lived and breathed education. I went to university. I'm still there working. Now I'm going for my master's degree and I'm doing it in education where I'm trying to get a job in social justice education for the rest of my life. I could talk about education and I do. You guys are probably tired of it. I talk about it all day, every day. I'm very passionate about providing access to education, removing barriers to education, especially for students of color who have been greatly disadvantaged in the education system for far too long. And I love it. It's hard work a lot of the time. Like I don't love spending my Saturdays at school doing class or
That's so weird. Why not?
yeah. It's not my favorite, but I also love it. Like I could talk about education for a long time. So anybody listening, if you also nerd out about education, come at me. I'm happy to talk to you about it forever.
Nice.
I will say, you talking about it, it has made me look into Masters for Hospitality, but there's a lot of obstacles in that.
Yes.
Like there's
Yeah.
no program in Nebraska. So I would have to do online somewhere. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that. And plus, spending the same amount of money, but online, I'm like, I don't know.
They're two very different things. Yeah,
It's at least in my brain. And I've been debating, but there's a lot of other things I want to do.
Well, you
too.
never know, because like for anybody listening, I did not go to university to get my undergrad, college in the States, you call it, I think. I did not go to get my degree, my bachelor's degree, until I was 24. So I didn't graduate until I was almost 28. And then I didn't go in for my master's degree until I was 32. So you never know. There's still time. There's always time. If you are 75 years old, I work in a university and I do work with students who are in their 70s who are trying to get a degree, who are just trying to like knock off something that they always wanted to do, a bucket list thing. So if you're thinking about it, come talk to me. I will pump you up.
My cousin, she literally went to get her undergrad degree when she was in her 60s and stayed in the dorms. So
that's impressive.
What a badass.
Yeah.
That is brave.
30-something-year-old, like sometimes some of these 18-year-olds are coming in here and I'm like, okay, that's a lot. Like you guys are talking about all kinds of stuff that, I never talked about until I was 28. Like that's good for her.
Jaylynn, how about you? What's your number 2?
So my number 2 is jigsaw puzzles. I love doing puzzles.
That's right.
If you see my Instagram, there's a lot of pictures of puzzles on my Instagram. They're just fun. Again, it's just another relaxing thing to do. Take your mind away from things. I have to battle my cat, to do the puzzle because he also thinks he needs to help and be right in the middle of it. But they're fun, and there's just so many different kinds and themes and pictures that you can do.
How many pieces do you prefer?
I like 1,000. Oof. I like doing 1,000. I've done a 2,000 piece puzzle. That one took a while to do. But I can, not to sound like a huge nerd, but I can do, if I do it like on a weekend, like a Saturday or Sunday, like I can do 1,000 in a day, or, not like 24 hours, but like within the time I'm awake and stuff, a few hours or so.
Do you have a special setup, like so that your butt doesn't get sore?
Well, I'll get up and move, and I'll stand up. I'll stand up and do it too. Like, if my back's starting to hurt or something, I'll be like, okay, well, I'll just push this chair out.
That is true. The pain, the physical pain that you go through building a puzzle is so real.
Do you have a lazy Susan, Jaylynn?
I don't. I should though. I just do it on our dining room table that we don't use to eat because it's just me and my husband. America. So yeah, we don't eat at the table. It's my puzzle table, I guess. So, and it could fit a 2,000 piece puzzle.
That's impressive.
Found out, so they're fun.
Have you seen those puzzles that Anthony? They're like each shape is. Or each piece is a unique shape, and some of them look like animals. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's so neat. I'll have to.
He's gonna have to post that.
Yeah,
they look really difficult.
I've seen like circle puzzles, like not the grid, but I don't think I've seen one with each piece is a unique shape.
Yes, it looks super hard.
I've done 3D puzzles. Those are fun. Those come with instructions, so it's not really doing a puzzle because it tells you what to do. But yeah, I think I get it from my family because my family are big puzzlers. Like if you go to my mom's house or my aunt's house and open a closet, it's like that Tupperware commercial where all the Tupperware is falling out. Like there's just puzzles falling out of the closet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a good point.
Oh yeah, Lego. That's a good.
Feel free to comment the stuff that you nerd out about. We've got Lego, we've got dinosaurs, we've got Wattpad.
Wattpad.
Wow, I didn't know you were interested in that.
Yes.
Feel free to comment. Sarah, what else do you have?
Yeah, what is your
did we skip Maya? I mean,
no, I said
no. Maya said 2.
Okay. Let me look at my list. Oh, we already covered this a little bit, but politics and activism I am a nerd for voter registration is super sexy. So is healthcare legislation that gives women back control over their own bodies. Super hot. So and I love, just activism. LGBTQ community is my thing. I am very protective of our youth, our trans youth, our queer youth. So I actually started a nonprofit in Corpus Christi that is still going to this day, which I'm super proud of.
You should elaborate on that.
Yeah, I don't know
what that is.
Yeah. Yes.
Like every day I'm learning something new about that freaking book.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to.
This woman is a superhero for sure.
So back in 2016, right after the Orlando tragedy, the nightclub, the Pulse nightclub shooting, right after that, my friend and I got super just kind of frustrated that there wasn't a pride event in our city, Corpus Christi, at that time, and everywhere else in in the country seem to have a pride celebration, but not South Texas. So we put one together, and we actually the following year got enough support. We did the very first pride parade of South Texas, and Google came and did a story about it, and it was super awesome. And so from there, we were able to turn the organization into a nonprofit, and they're still operating today. I just got an email a couple weeks ago from the president. So yeah, I'm just a big nerd about everyone being treated the same. So,
Okay, that is phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
Imagine doing a first time event and Google shows up.
it was really neat. It was so neat. Yeah,
Very,
very
cool.
thankful.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, parades are super fun. A lot of work, but very fun.
Very cool. Well,
Yeah.
stay tuned for our Instagram stories where we will be plugging this. nonprofit. You guys can
I
follow
will.
it.
We're literally going on Pride Month. This is perfect time.
Yeah,
It's called Pride Corpus Christi now.
Nice.
Pride Corpus Christi. Is that where you live now? No, right?
No, I live in San Antonio now, which is very close to Uvalde, which is why this last week has been super, super crazy. So, but yes, Corpus Christi is like 3 hours away,
Okay.
right on the coast, hometown of Selena.
So can I ask, do you go back every year for June?
I do. I haven't been back. They haven't had a Pride celebration because of they've been very responsible. I'm very proud of them.
Good.
They've not done anything because of COVID, but this year is going to be their first celebration, and I do plan on hanging out with them.
That's awesome. Good for you, Sarah. I love that.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of people joining us in the chat. So we're talking about things that we nerd out over.
Yes.
So if you want to throw in what you nerd out over, we now have like Stranger Things, Linkin Park, Zelda, as well, in addition to the Jurassic Park and dinosaurs and Lego and all that kind of stuff. So join in.
So I would jump in and say my next one.
Okay,
Yeah.
go for it.
It's so hard to choose one. Just because
Point.
I want to shout out my best friend Mike. He's in the comments, so he can actually attest to this. I'm obsessed with anything murder mystery. Like,
Nice.
I read And Then There Were None when I was in the 7th grade. It's my favorite book of all time. So Jaylynn, you probably appreciate it. So much Agatha Christie has affected my life. But I write murder mysteries like from scratch.
You need to write one for me. I know you did a party. You need to write one for me.
We need to do this at the next Let's Halloween. We'll
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I love doing that, like just writing. I watch all the murder mystery stuff on all the streaming channels, movies. Oh my gosh. But I just love the idea of just like figuring it out. When Mike and I were kids, we wanted to be spies. So we literally take my grandma's wigs and we would like act like we're old ladies at coffee shop just sitting there. We had like the spy gear from like the Scholastic's book fair, like the night vision goggles and like.
Did you pretend like you were spy kids?
Harriet the spy?
They had the little headset. You know how Junie was like.
Yes.
I was so obsessed with that. And so it's just, again, like another thing that it just really stuck with me. And like as an adult, like I just love murder mystery parties and things like that. So
Agatha Christie, that's so cool. You'll be very appreciative. The very first play I was in was Mousetrap by Agatha Christie.
Yeah. Amazing. There's an Agatha Christie bookshop in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I interned out there, and I was just in heaven, like, oh my goodness. And there was so much murder mystery books. So Jaylynn, if you're ever in,
gotta go.
I love it.
I think there's a Big Ten school around there. I can get there. That's the only way I can convince people to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you might.
If there's
Nebraska, Michigan, right? Cara, I think Shannon you guys have something in common there.
Zombies.
Sam like zombies. How did that happen?
Zombies, man. Sam. I hate zombies for anybody listening, but zombies, Halloween. I know that Sam, Jaylynn, I know that's right up your alley. We also got like tattoos. My fiance is
awesome.
all over that. Professional wrestling, video games.
Oh my gosh.
A dig from Brian about whether or not we know each other, because clearly we don't know anything.
It's like we just met.
I know, after like 2 or 3 years of friendship, like a very intense friendship, we have no idea. Oh man, I have to say, I have one to add for somebody else. Is that
Okay.
cool?
Yeah.
Go for
I
it.
feel like Jaylynn, you nerd out about like knickknacks, like that's like the little like Halloween town that you have and the Christmas town that you have, and then like Funko Pop, like you have like seasonal knickknacks, which I feel like we all have like Funkos and things like that, but you have specific seasonal ones, and I feel like that has to be added at least as like an honorable mention.
It's true. I do have a problem, and the little buffet that they sit on is not big enough, and now but I keep buying things. Okay, now I'm going to go on a story.
Here
Do it.
Because you brought up knickknacks. So lately, my mom and her sister, so my aunt, have been going to like every Friday they go to like antique shows or no, what are they, like when people have passed? No, like when people have passed and they estate sales. They've been going to estate sales.
Mm-hmm.
And every time my mom, she'll FaceTime me because I'm always at work. And she's like, do you want this Christmas village? And I'm like, yes. So I've been getting like old school knickknacks now
awesome.
and stuff. So I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to put this stuff when Christmas and like Halloween comes around, but I'll make Taylor build something for me.
Yeah, storage unit.
I need somewhere to go.
My mom loves
That
Christmas
is awesome.
knickknacks.
Oh my gosh. Man,
Ben Wyatt is in the comments talking about a calzone.
Yes.
Can I add an honorable mention of Parks and Recreation is something that I nerd out so hard for.
Yeah.
But it's a great show, so it's like perfect to nerd out about it.
Truly.
Yes.
Yeah, you are the, like, you have to be the number one fan. Like, I don't know anyone who loves that show more than you do.
It's true.
Yes,
I
same.
feel like there are other fans because there's a whole like Parks and Recollection podcast. There are other people who write in. So I know that there's other people like me.
Mm-hmm.
No
You should write
really
in.
like
You
me.
should just keep writing in every week. And so then I'll hear, be like, and this is from Cara in Canada. And I'll be like, I know her.
I think my third thing that I wrote down in terms of things that I nerd out about, psychology, I think is my third one, like specifically positive psychology and learning about gratitude and how our minds are impacted by, you know, chemicals and hormones and all this kind of stuff. I love that. I love talking about it. I will read articles and papers and textbooks sometimes about that by myself for fun when I'm not otherwise in school learning about other things.
Yep.
I could talk about that forever. The simple act of gratitude changes your chemical composition in your body. Like if you're doing it enough, like for a period of time, it actually is scientifically proven to make a physical difference. And I think that's so cool. So I love, psychology is not education. Psychology is educational, but it's also scientific, and it's different than like just straight up education in terms of like access to education, like learning in school, the concept of learning in general. I will dispute that because I am a nerd.
Okay.
Like, do you like those do you like, well, I know you're not really big into like scary stuff, but like psychological thrillers and like what is the person's like thought process and things like that?
Yeah, see, here's the thing, because like I have a degree in psychology, I love psychology. Everybody always thinks that I love like the like psychological disorders and that kind of aspect of psychology. And when I was doing my degree, whenever I would say like I'm doing a degree in psychology, people would always be like, "Are you reading my mind?" And I would always be like, "No, like I don't care about you. Like no offense, but like I have enough going on that I'm not trying to sit here and like talk about like think about what you're doing with your life. I don't care." Like I would always like use what I learned to think about me and process how I think and why I am the way that I am, or why my family is the way that they are, things like that. I don't care like to talk about other people, but like psychological disorders and all those kinds of things, while they're very interesting and there's tons of literature and case studies and stuff on that, and it is very interesting and I did enjoy learning about it, is not my nerdy side of psychology. I prefer like the positive side of psychology, like cognitive reframing, and in terms of like, how do I change my mindset to live a better life? How do I change my mindset to change, physical aspects of my body, or vice versa? Or, sports psychology, how do we do performance? How do we manage like massive amounts of attention and still perform at an elite level? Like all of that kind of stuff is so fascinating to me.
That's amazing. Do you have cognitive behavioral therapy up there in
We
Canada?
do, yes.
I had to, so after I came out, a lot of shit hit the fan, and particularly about my identity and things that I had been brought up to believe about myself that were not true. So the reframing, I had to go through about a year and a half. And I mean, I still am to some extent. I'm still in therapy. I think everybody should be in therapy. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad thing. But I had to do specifically CBT for about a year and a half, just kind of trying to rewire my thought process around how I think about myself. So it's a journey.
And just like, because I'm a nerd, I will also point out there's several different types of therapy. Every single one is different for every single person, because we all have like our own identity. Yeah, there we go. We all have we all have our own like learning process, how we learn, how we kind of understand, how we process information, how we internalize it, all of that kind of stuff. That's why there's so many different kinds. So if you are interested or thinking that you need therapy or you want some and you're trying something and it's not working, there's something that does work for you. Keep trying, keep pushing, do a little, background investigation, online keyboard researcher. Like, talk to us, talk to me. And Christmas. Yes, Sam has pointed out too that I am a nerd for Christmas, 100%.
I want to say, Mike, he said he was a nerd for music and stock options, and made me a lot of money because he put me on GameStop weeks before it happened. So I made lots of money off that.
Mike, my fiance is going to come talk to you after this. He also loves stocks.
Nice.
Put him on something 3 weeks in advance. We're trying to marry him this year. Thank you.
I know nothing about stocks. I wish I did.
Me neither.
I don't get it. I want to.
Who has their third one? Did everyone say their third already?
I think I did.
No, I think Cara, you started it. Yeah, Jaylynn.
I don't think I have. Well, I had true crime on mine, but I'll do something else since we kind of talked about it. I'll go with like exercise and like fitness. I've been getting into it. So before I used to teach fitness, and then COVID, and so then kind of fell out. But just recently have gotten back to the gym and trying to get back into my routine, and it just makes me feel good. There's days where I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. But then I get there and I feel great afterwards. I may be in pain, but I still feel good. It may have been a tough class, but it feels good. So I like getting in that routine and working out. It can just be fun sometimes. And having good gym friends helps. We have regulars in my class and we've become friends. And we all complain about what the teacher's making us do together. So, it's fun. You could curse and nobody cares. The teacher's like, go sprint. And you're like, no, F you. I ain't doing that. And then you still do it and you just curse the whole time. It can be fun. It's a good outlet.
And I think you've been such an inspiration, like accountability partner. Like I try to keep up with you because it's like, wow, I look at your Apple Watch check, I'm like 50 minutes, hours, over an hour. What?
Because she doesn't stop teaching. She just keeps going. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to be the one to leave early. So
I will vouch for the fact that Maya goes to the gym every day every morning at 7:30.
It's very impressive.
I like open my eyes for the first time for the day. See the picture that Maya has posted in our accountability chat about being in the gym every Saturday morning. Okay. At 7:30 in the morning, Jaylynn posts in the gym at 7:30 on a Saturday. Like these two girls are committed. I have to vouch for that.
That's impressive.
I'm just trying to stay on Jalen's vibe because he knows that one day I miss. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go back.
There's days I miss too, and it's just like, oh, like this last week being on vacation, and then you come back and you're like, oh, now I have to get back in to the routine, and it can be tough. But
routine comes back.
Routine
It always
does.
Education and routine. It's all.
Yeah, so that's my third one. My third nerdy part of me. So
Maya, did you get 3? Do you have any left?
I think so. I said Primate Sims and Murder Mystery. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it's me.
Mm-hmm.
So my last one is kind of just a collective thing. I am just a big kid at heart, and so I love games. I love board games, card games, video games, just toys and collectibles, all that. So like we try to make it a regular thing, but we do, my sister's family and my nieces and nephews and my brother-in-law, we do game nights. And so the boys get to pick a game one week, the girls get to pick a game the next week. So it's really fun.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. And I missed again, sorry, I don't mean to keep going back to this, but when I came out several years ago, I missed some really good years with my nieces and nephews, not by choice, but we won't talk about that. But having this time now to go back and like just be kids and hang out and have fun and bond over that kind of like just fun stuff. And it's always very funny, some of the things that the kids come up with. So yeah, that's my third thing.
That brings us to an earlier discussion of whether or not we can be nerds for our nieces and nephews.
Hey, there we go.
Yes, you can.
Because I've been morphing my nephew's brain to be Marvel.
Yes, exactly. Train them.
You have no choice.
Yeah. My nephew is 2, and the other day he punched an ant and went Hulk smash.
Love that.
It's just impressive that he punched an ant.
Right.
Really something. So basically, all of this to say, stay tuned for our upcoming, 300 episodes, because you never know what you're going to get. You could get any piece of these nerdy parts of us. If there is something that you nerd out about that you would love for us to touch on, or you want to talk about it with us, please send us a DM, please text us, message us, whatever. Let us know. Jurassic Park, I don't know, like how much we would have to say. But like if there's something, he punched an ant, A-N-T, not me. Let's be clear. But if there is something that you nerd out about that you would love to hear, we've got paranormal stuff, ancient history, learning.
It's definitely Alex. Oh my
politics,
gosh.
rescue rangers. We got all kinds of stuff in here. So please connect with us and let us know what you nerd out about. And now you have a little bit more information on what you may find here on Nerdy Girls After Dark, what we love, what we nerd out about.
Oh, wait. Does that mean it's time for what?
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please?
Nice. Very nice.
Awkward transition.
No, that was well done.
Okay. So we're doing our attention moments at the end today.
Yeah.
So that we can end on a very lighthearted note. Who wants to go first? Sarah, do you want to go first?
Absolutely. I'll go first. This, I don't even honestly know what the article is about. My eyes were drawn to the gorgeous women on the cover of this Hollywood Reporter magazine. I love the stuff that Hollywood Reporter has been putting out. They're like more serious articles. And the photo of this, so it's Sandra Oh, Rosario Dawson, Christina Ricci, Ho Yun Jung, Emmy Rossum, and then Lily James. And they just look like boss bees.
Yes.
And I love them. And Ho Yun Jung was the female lead in Squid Game.
Yes.
And she captured me in that series. She was fantastic. So that's mine. They're just beautiful.
I didn't even recognize Lily James.
I didn't either. She doesn't look like Pam Anderson.
Yeah. Very different. Because I always see her blonde. So for mine, and Netflix is really notorious for dropping a trailer like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before something comes out. So last week, this trailer dropped of Jennifer Lopez's documentary. I don't know if it's documentary titled Halftime, where it's going to be, I kind of feel like it's a little copying the Beyonce Homecoming, but that's neither here nor there. But it's like centered on her halftime performance, but also really focused on like the second phase of her career. And then it does a lot of reflection to the first phase of her career. She's a very complicated person in my eyes in terms of liking her or not, because you hear the good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah. So I'm actually really interested in hearing her story from her perspective. She goes a lot into like her perception as an artist early on in her career. So I'm really excited just to understand more and kind of challenge my own thoughts about her and hear it from her perspective.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check out the trailer. I didn't even know a trailer dropped.
Yeah. I'm troubled by the fact that I have more wrinkles at 34 than she does at 52. So
yeah, I know.
How dare she?
Unfair.
She's fire. Oh my gosh, she looks amazing. Yeah. So Jaylynn.
All right, so I'll go. So Harry Styles released a new album last week. It's called Harry's House, and it is fire. I loved it. It seemed more like upbeat compared to his other albums. His other albums seemed to have more like ballads and stuff on them. This one was more upbeat, and I felt like I could dance a lot to it. And I think my favorite song from the album is called Keep on Driving or Keep Driving, something like that. It was just a really good song and just fun. And I love Harry Styles. I love One Direction. So maybe that's another thing I nerd about is boy bands. And
we had Jonas Brothers.
Jonas.
Yeah.
No, if you need a new album to listen to, I recommend Harry's Styles' new album. It's really good.
That performance that him and Lizzo had, the I Will Survive, that's what I go to. Like, I can't sleep or something. I just go watch that because it was phenomenal.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, I will drop the link in our chat because
they're like buddies. It's precious. I love it.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Brian. We do all remember her Super Bowl halftime. That was phenomenal.
Her and Shakira.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah, not as great before the world closed down.
Yeah,
and not as great as like 50 Cent and Dr. Dre and everybody, but really good.
Yeah.
My attention moment is a bunch of nonsense. So here we go. I do, for anybody who follows me on Instagram, I like to do the this or that. It's very popular. People love it. So I'll post like a bunch of like, choose this or that, and people get to vote on it. I did one this week about vegetables, and I feel like I have to talk about this because I'm a little bit surprised. First of all, like, we had about 100 responses, so keep that in mind. Cucumber beat zucchini 74% to 26%. And I wondered, like, too, like, have people had zucchini? Like, I know that cucumber's really good. But, like, have people had that?
Have you even had zucchini? It's good. Fried zucchini is delicious.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Broccoli beat cauliflower 75% to 25%. And this hurt my feelings personally.
That's wrong.
Cauliflower, like, do people... Like,
delicious.
Say you people. It may not be you people who are listening. The people who have voted may not understand. Cauliflower can be used for literally anything. Pasta, pizza, sauce.
Oh
it can be like literally anything that you want it to be. Soup. It can be anything. It's fantastic. Potentially the one that surprised me the most is that carrots beat sweet potatoes. And this was like the most surprising thing to me because of sweet potato fries. And like, I know in America, like sweet potato pie and that like is that the same thing as the thing that they make on Thanksgiving with the marshmallows on top, or is that
that's a sweet potato casserole?
Okay,
that's what it's called. But there's also sweet potato pie too, but they're two different things.
And then sweet potato fries, and then like just mashed sweet potatoes, roasted
baby food sweet potatoes. Sorry.
Hang on. No. Let's circle back for a second.
What?
Like, for you?
Yeah, y'all never just went and bought baby food and just ate it a little bit. Like,
no. Why is this nobody's attention moment?
I did
mine.
After my wisdom teeth surgery.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes, I did.
You know the greatness of it all.
If you have bought baby food as an adult to eat, please let us know. Please avenge Maya. Please avenge Maya in the chats, in the DM, email us, text us, whatever.
Oh my goodness. Phrase that.
A lot of thoughts in the chat about the vegetables, all incorrect.
Cauli is delicious. Roasted cauliflower is one of my favorites.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
So delicious, especially if you season it properly. Oh man, I got a lot of crap for the last couple of weeks because I said that my comfort food is roasted vegetables. Is one of my like top comfort foods, and I've been roasted ever since.
Okay, I'm about to roast you because that's actually insane. Comfort food. Wow, what a great habit to have.
Hear me out though. Because if you're getting the proper vegetables, like sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, cauliflower, zucchini, whatever, it is the same concept as like fries, but then you feel good afterwards. So you're still getting that like, no? It's the same thing, but you feel good afterwards.
All right. Hey, if it does it for you, Cara, we are... all for it.
I don't know. I guess my comfort food's like easy stuff, like ice cream, like things I don't have to make. Peanut butter.
Shout out to
Alex. I do love roasted vegetables.
This brings us back to a comment we made earlier that Alex is always on everybody's side. Alex just came through and said he does eat baby food as well.
The pear, oh my gosh. Alex, you will love a pear mimosa. I'm just putting that out there.
Ooh.
You'll have to try pear juice and champagne.
Oh, but not with baby food.
Yeah, not with baby food.
Okay.
But it's like liquidy enough so you can imagine how good it is. Like baby food, like pear, it's so good. Just not the green.
We do need to circle back just a little bit. Because I'm sure we will have some listeners asking this. But Brian also wants you to go back. Can you say that word again, Cara, real quick?
Pasta.
It's giving Minnesotan accent.
It was a little, yeah.
Do you guys say pasta?
Pasta.
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 I say pasta, but that's because I'm from Chicago.
Is that not what I said? Is that in between?
Pasta. Like pastor.
Yeah, like
It's how
pasta,
Oprah
but from
would
Joy.
say pastor.
Is it
Pasta.
pasta? You did a little bit, but is that not how you normally say it?
Pasta. Yeah.
What?
Okay, so the Canadians in the chat, am I saying it normal? Sam, I mean, no.
Sam, come on.
No, I'm waiting for
Stop.
Sam to comment. Like,
I know.
that is funny.
We'll wait for Sam to respond.
We'll wait.
But-
Imagine if she exited.
Right when we
she's
need her.
not.
Right when we need her. Eh?
Yeah, it says A.
Right, it does. But I did. Can I make just a request real quick? So today is my grandmother's birthday. She would have been 86. Don't make fun of. Okay, so Sam is saying that it was correct. Pasta.
No, she didn't say that. She just said don't make fun of her.
Oh, okay.
We can read in between the lines.
It's fine. That's a neither confirm nor deny. Yeah.
Sam knows
Well,
food, so she's a chef.
oh, is she?
Ooh.
Okay. So she says it's okay.
So she needs to come to Let's Give a Ween.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's give a ween as our friendship gathering for anybody who does not know.
So my grandmother would have been 86 today. She passed away in late August of last year. She got the Delta strain of COVID. So I would like to do just like a birthday toast to my grandma, to Nanny.
Yes.
Do a cheers. And anyone in the comments, if you're not vaccinated, I respect your choice, but ask you sincerely to reconsider for your family and friends. And just continue to be safe, y'all. Safe and healthy. So cheers to Nanny Wanda.
Cheers.
To Wanda.
Clink.
I love that you call her Nanny because my sister and I called our grandma. Everyone called her Nana.
that's
We said
right.
Nanny. My mom was like, "She's not your nanny. She doesn't get I always love hearing that.
Yeah, it's a good nickname, I think.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a nice MCU name as well. Wanda.
Yes, Wanda. Her name was Wanda.
Aw, Taylor had a grandma Wanda too.
Aww, it's a good one.
Well, thank you, girls, because these last couple of weeks have been very difficult, and I appreciate the community that we have here. Thank you, everybody who's been participating in the chat. Just made today a bearable day, so we love you guys. Yeah, and we will see you next week.
Bye.